Hey, what's up everybody? It is about almost 10:35. It's about 10:34 actually. On this Tuesday, February 28th, 2012. And some coffee there for a second. And what I have here, and you can see the title of this, is Ian Flynn's, and it states Ian Flynn's A Couple of Explanations, or it's going to say Ian Flynn's Couple of Explanations. Probably these are Ian Flynn's A Couple of Explanations, and the link will be provided. The link will be provided in the description box. Now, basically, this is a couple of explanations that Ian Flynn put on his DeviantArt account, his DA account, on a journal. And you can actually find these also at the Anti-Mecha Sally group as well. So, but this is what he says, and I quote. This is off his journal, which was posted about, I'd say about 18 hours ago, 18 and a half hours ago. And I quote. This is what he says: "In this tumultuous time of the comics, passions are running high. That's a good thing. I didn't set out to violently shake up the status quo, thinking it'd go over perfectly fine with everyone. I set out to upset and to unnerve, and thus far it looks like I've succeeded." Now he puts in parentheses, "Some folks out there are already guessing in the ballpark of my long-term plans, but you can only fool some of the people some of the time." Then he puts another parentheses after that, or whatever you want to call it. And then he continues on, and I quote, "As upset as some readers are, and rightfully so, I will not tolerate a total lack of class. I've had folks contact me individually who voice their concern, even their anger, in clear terms, without resorting to foul language and physical threats. Anger does not excuse such childness. So if you can't make your point without devolving into profanity, I'm hiding your comment. I'll read it, I'll keep it accessible so your point will remain, but I'm not cluttering up my front page with your filthy language. As for what's going on in the book, I'm going to have as much patience as the readers. I know what's going to happen in the long run, and I know how this will look when it's finished. I'm excited for you guys, because you get to experience the thrill of it month by month. Because of that, I can't explain what's happening, because that'll ruin the surprises I'm working on preparing for y'all." Yeah, he says y'all, believe it or not. Excuse me for a second. Alright. Now it continues on, and I quote, "The best comparison I can make," and then he puts in parentheses, "without totally spoiling the entire ride," and then he ends the parentheses there. Excuse me for a second, I checked it. Alright. But like I said, the best comparison I can make, and then he puts in parentheses, without totally spoiling the entire ride, is to the original Star Wars trilogy. And then by saying this, he references one of the last two films. He says, "In Empire Strikes Back, Han is captured, Cloud City has been occupied by the Empire, Luke's been maimed and had his faith shattered, and the rebellion has done pretty much nothing but lose for the entire movie. If it had ended there, I'd imagine there'd be some outcry, but it didn't. Fans of the series had faith in their heroes and believed that somehow they'd come back from all that. Likewise, the comic isn't stopping anytime soon. I'm doing my best to throw the heroes from the comfort zone they've lingered in for 250 plus issues. Actually, that should be 225 issues, or 230 issues, whatever you want to call it, plus. Have a little faith that Mobius's greatest heroes can endure. Then he adds a disclaimer in the parentheses. He puts a disclaimer. I realize comfort zone, which he puts in quotations. I realize comfort zone is a blanket statement. Example: Sally's near death in issue 50. King Max's dissolving of the team. But I'm referring to the general sense, the freedom, and then he puts this in quotation marks. He puts this in quotation marks. The freedom fighters never lose, and then in between those quotation marks towards the end, he puts in parentheses /in the end, and there you go. Now, continuing on and finishing this up, he says, and I quote, obviously this isn't going to satisfy everyone. Some of you will take this as me blowing smoke or placitating. And I can't help that. Some are buckling in for the adventure, excited about what's to come, and then he puts in parentheses, if a little unsure. Others don't want anything to happen to the favorites. There's no meeting in the middle on that one. Well, no duh. I've got grand sweeping plans, folks. This is just the beginning. And then he puts at the end the usual reminders. The usual reminders are, I don't have time to correspond to every venue online while writing 4 books, so take it to the form, Bumble King. Don't post full scans of issues, that's stealing. If you're outside the US/Canada, try working with your local comic book vendor or online shops or the Sonic app. And he provides a link. This DA account is used for following a few artists and friends, and sometimes a piece of concept art. My online correspondence is focused on the Facebook page, Twitter, forum, website. All of that accessible from here, and he provides another link. Now my overall thoughts on this is, this is exactly why I do respect him. I do have respect for the guy. Despite our differences at times, I have a lot of respect for him. Not only because he was a fan that is living his dream, but he does at times, when he has to, speak his mind. Now, he has pointed out, and actually this surprises me a little bit, he actually has acknowledged that there are some people guessing in the ballpark, kind of like a ballpark figure, of what his long-term plans are. So in other words, they kind of have an idea, but they're not entirely 100% sure. But he says after that, you can only fool some of the people some of the time. So in other words, he's also acknowledging that he can only fool some people, like longtime fans and maybe smarks, if you will, when it comes to comic books. You know, you can only fool them some of the time before they catch on to what you're going to really do, what you really have planned. Now, I like the idea that he does acknowledge what some people have actually claimed to be a similarity, and that's the Star Wars reference. However, I want you to notice he only referenced the 2 last movies, Empire and Return, mostly Empire. And what that tells me, by referencing those, he's kind of telling us right now that from 230 right now to whenever he feels like it, maybe 5 issues or 10 issues before 250, right now we're in the Empire Strikes Back arc of the comic book. We're kind of like in the Empire Strikes Back situation of the comic. Now, I understand and I respect that right there. I understand and respect the fact that he's gone out and said this and acknowledged that, which tells me that depending on how long it goes, whether it's 10 issues, 5 issues, whatever the length is going to 250, that those issues will be the ones that will be like the Return of the Jedi. Now the one thing that will probably catch people's eyes is he says 250 plus issues. I think he probably meant something else, but if it means we're going to go a lot longer with this whole thing, up to maybe 275, then that is a surprise. I mean, he did say double the length, but double the length is 2 years, not 3 years or 4 years. Anyway, this is why I have respect for the guy, because, you know, he at least he's finally coming out and acknowledging what people are saying and kind of trying to explain to the best of his abilities what's going on. And I do respect the fact that he does acknowledge some people will look at him and say, you know what, Ian, you're just lying out your ass. You're just trying to calm us down. You're just trying to create a peaceful silver lining. And you know what? Again, this is why I respect him, because one, he acknowledges that, and he knows people are still going to think that. And he's even said he can't help it. He can't help it if people think that, because maybe he's saying in a way, if you look between the lines, maybe he's saying in a way, yeah, sometimes I do have to blow smoke. Sometimes I do have to placitate. You know, sometimes I have to say these certain things just so you guys can keep guessing. And it's true. And it's true. You know, like I said, as much of the differences I've had with him, as much as I don't like the fact that he banned me from his site, you know, just because maybe I broke a few rules and maybe I said things I shouldn't have said, you know, fine. But the thing is, this is why I overall respect the guy. Now again, he does say, you know, again, I'll provide a link for this, but overall, you know, I do appreciate that he's finally coming out and not just with one fan, but telling everybody at a site that he knows is going to get a lot of attention, and people are going to read a lot of it, and that's DeviantArt. I respect and appreciate that he took the time out to do this. He didn't have to, but he did. And I'm pretty sure he's posted it similarly to Bumble King on his Bumble King forum as well. So, you know, I'm willing to give him a chance, but I am going to stick by what I said. I'm willing to give him a chance, but I'm sticking by what I've said. I'm not going to open any of the issues I get. I know some of you find that ridiculous, but I'm not going to open any of the issues until this whole thing blows over and it's done. I'm still going to resubscribe, and again, I know some of you find that ridiculous if I'm not going to open any issues. And I still stand by the fact that I am in the middle, but even in the middle, you can have a dislike for certain things. And honestly, I don't like Sally being roboticized, and I don't like possibly the fact of Anton being, you know, dead. So I'm still in the middle, despite what you guys may think. I mean, you can come out and say I'm not, but the truth is I am. No matter what you think. So I give respect for him. The link will be provided, maybe even the article itself. So comment down below if you like. Do a video response if you like, and I will talk to y'all later.